don't let Florida be the only state. We've got very red states that should be doing this just as much as Florida's doing. That will increase their numbers. And then what happens is you'll have a lot of people that will deport on their own because they don't want to end up in an Alligator Alcatraz or some of those other places. So I think this is a model, but we need other states to step up.
I was going to ask you, would this be enticing for other states to come up with their own model?
They are doing it. We have Louisiana doing it big. Alabama's doing it. We have a lot of states. They seem to be red states. There are not too many blue states for whatever reason. But the red states, Republican-run states, are doing it. The blue states don't do very well at security and policing, unfortunately. What would you say, Kristen?
I would say that exactly right. The governor here has been fantastic in forming this partnership with the Department of Homeland Security. We were looking at different contracts with different vendors and thought, why not go straight to our governors and ask them to help us solve this problem? Florida was unique in what they presented to us, and I would ask every other governor to do the exact same thing. This is unique because we can hold individuals here, they can have their hearings, get due process, and then immediately be flown back home to their home countries. And their home countries are welcoming them. They're setting up loans for houses, they've got food assistance, they're helping to facilitate welcoming them home. I just got home from Panama, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, and they're all excited about getting their individuals back home from the United States. So
and there is a lot of self-deporting. That's
one
thing I was actually surprised.
But they are
Boy, wouldn't that be an upset, huh?
Yeah. Are you confident that this can get through the House? And is there any wiggle room on your July 4th?
It's the greatest tax cut in the history of our country. And if it doesn't pass, it's the biggest tax increase in the history of our country. That alone, 68% increase as opposed to a massive cut. It's the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, and everybody gets it.
Mr. President and Madam Secretary, CNN yesterday pushed an app that lets you track where ICE agents are. Tom Homan was saying that perhaps CNN should be prosecuted for that. That's obstruction of law enforcement. Your response?
Yeah, we're working with the Department of Justice to see if we can prosecute them for that, because what they're doing is actively encouraging people to avoid law enforcement activities, operations, and we're going to actually go after them and prosecute them with the partnership of PAM if we can, because what they're doing we believe is illegal.
And they may be prosecuted also for having given false reports on the attack in Iran. They were given totally false reports. It was totally obliterated, and our people have to be celebrated, not come home and say, what do you mean we didn't hit the target? We hit the target first. The pilots came home and they said we hit the target first. So they may be very well prosecuted for that. What they did there, we think, is totally illegal. Okay, let's go. Follow us.
You got it. Doing all right?
Susan was very lucky. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, really?
You
Works
think-
for who?
He works for.
Real America's Voice.
Oh, okay, good.
You think it's easy being with Marjorie?
You think I can take some heat?
She was working out pretty hard this
Yes, she
weekend.
was. wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
One, though, right?
I was a little worried when they get my 1-year-old shot, but I didn't know any better.
You know, that particular thing with the kids, it's out of control.
Yeah.
Now, 1 in 32 versus 1 in 20,000 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Autism. So it was one, think of it, 1 in 20,000 20 years ago. Now it's, I heard 1 in 16 in California.
Yeah.
1 in 16.
Well, that's because they didn't know.
Can you imagine? So there's something. I think Bobby's going to figure it out. So nice to see you, bro.
Thank you for visiting
Yeah,
down
thanks for
here.
visiting. This is our team, our pharmacist, and our nurse practitioner, our two operating
How are
officers.
you?
They actually did all the work. Nice
job
to meet
with
you.
this.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you guys for doing this. Thank you for your partnership.
You had how many days to do it?
We actually just have 24 hours.
24 hours.
Yeah.
I was relentless.
This is like a monoclonal antibody clinic on steroids.
See what I mean? It's an amazing job. They've all done a great job. Proud of them.
Mr. President, Mr. Governor, what's your message to Governor Gavin Newsom inside of this facility?
Well, the first thing you should do is come here and learn something, because they don't do this. They don't know. They wouldn't know where to begin, and if they did, it would cost them 100 times more. So I would say he should call the governor and Christie, and I'm sure you'd give him because his state is a disaster, and he doesn't do this.
Well, they have the original Alcatraz, so you guys could approve him being able to set one of these up over there. I'm sure the secretary would be happy to do that and provide. My sense is he's probably not going to bite on that. But I don't know that they'd be able to come in at cost because they tried to do this high-speed rail. They spent like $150 billion, no tracks. We've got a privately funded rail in Florida from Miami to Orlando. It costs the taxpayers zero, and it's very successful. So it's just a much different approach between states.
We're not going to let him get anywhere near Alcatraz. It'll cost 100 times more than they thought. Now he ought to come here and study this because he could learn a lot.